Good afternoon, everybody. It's wee Paddy from across the shock, and it's 3 for Thursday, the little series I started, and it's an open tag. It's a continuously open tag because I'm going to keep doing it until I run out of three knives to show you. And I'm really appreciative of the people who have joined in. It really is lovely just to see different knives that different people have and where they fit in their collection. So I'm really enjoying it. And the other thing I'm going to do is I throw a challenge out. Any of you modern knives, locking knives people out there, join in. It's not just for slip joints. We're knife people. There isn't this separation between slip joints and locking knives. We're all in this hobby together, and I don't like the way it's starting to separate out. You can only look at slip, or do you know what I mean? I would love you to join in with your three knives. Pick three knives that have got something similar or anything about them. Just put three knives down and let's see them as well. I want everybody to join in together. But anyhow, that's that wee rant over with. These two knives are mine. Trapper. This is a two-bladed trapper, a single-bladed trapper, and this beautiful case knife here is a Tony Bowes back pocket knife. And it comes, this is the case covering for it. There it is. It's the TB61546 SS for stainless steel, and it's the back pocket, and it's in olive green. It is the most beautiful olive green. It also comes in this suede covered box. Let me just show you what inside. Inside you get this lovely little lanyard you can put in it, which I think is gorgeous, and just the paperwork. But it's really well presented because this is part of the Collectors Club. And this was the 2011 model. It's from 1981 to 2011, 30 years anniversary of the Collectors Club. So that's beautifully comes packaged. This second one, which is my GEC knife, is the Oregon Trapper. Comes in this lovely tube, and this is the number 43 pattern. The first blade is a clip point. There is only one blade, and it was made in 2018 in Frontier Bone, which I adore. And last but no means least, the Remington. And this is the Remington. Let me just get this down here. Come on. Focus. There we go. Remington UMC 1R1128. And this is the bullet knife. I'm not sure whether that's the right box. I got this off, not in a trade. I bought this off Mike's Knives. He got this for me because this one's from 1989. And on 2 for Tuesday, one of the fellas, I can't remember who it was now, North Star Knife for Tuesday maybe, I'm not sure. He was talking about emotional attachment. This is one that I have emotional attachment to because I bought this specifically because this was made in 1989, which is the year that I got sober. So that'll fall back to 2 for Tuesday. But these are three. And this one is Justin's, my co-presenter on Paddy and Pals. He had bought this. He wasn't sure whether he's still not sure whether he likes it or not. He might be selling this. But I said, can I borrow it? And he had offered, and I said, yes, I would love to borrow it to do with this line, and this would make up my 3 for Thursday. Now, I'm going to ask the question, now, this bullet knife and this case back pocket knife are the same size, that same handle shape. So it's Trapper, the Trapper handle shape. You can see that sort of shape common between all three of them. Is the back pocket knife, is it Case's way of saying, Case owned quite a lot of patterns. Is the back pocket knife, is it the same as saying a trapper? A single blade trapper? I'm not sure. But it's a back pocket, I'll have to call it that. But they're three big knives. The only one I've carried is this one, and I carry this quite a lot. I love that. This is the biggest slip joint I'll carry. I don't want any more bigger than this. This is it. This is a keeper. It's just, can I use it? Yeah, I've used it to cut cardboard and things like that, but that's probably all it's going to get. It's one of them things. If it was in my pocket, I'll use it. If it's not, I don't. Chances are that's not going to be in my pocket because this is a heavy, big lump of a knife. But I just got it specifically for that date. So Justin gave me this, and I just took it out of the box. Today there, I haven't done any well, I looked at it when he brought it over. That would be the honest way of putting it. So this is a numbered edition. This is number 255. Let me just bring this out. Yeah, I think that's 255 on here. That beautiful case sign, that's the Collectors Club sign. Can you see that? Isn't that just beautiful? Really, really gorgeous sealed and beautifully inlaid. I'm sure it's not pinned, because Case don't normally pin their knives, although I believe they did before. Let me just get a wee light here just to have a quick look and see. I do like a pinned knife, but Case don't normally do them. No, that is not pinned. So it's not pinned, but this is a gorgeous knife. Look at this beautiful mirror polish. Look, there's probably not many in the business that do a mirror polish as good as Case. And it's a long, slim clip point, or Turkish clip, whichever you want to call it, on the Trapper pattern. Now, the fit and finish in this, let me just walk around. First of all, the blade, that beautiful swedge on top, and that nail nick is just tucked underneath there. Really blue. You nearly would miss it, but it is gorgeous. The swedge on both sides, which I really like. Bolster and bone meet up beautifully. Back spring is really good. If you wanted to get pernickety, there's a little, maybe just a hairline of a gap. I'm not sure there. But it is beautifully done and beautifully hafted as normal by Case. You have a pocket, a lanyard hole at the back here. But look at that bone. Isn't that just beautiful? It is absolutely, and the way it goes from this dark to this nearly stained green, which is just, oh, it's delicious. Really, really delicious. This is sort of knife I can end up with my collection very quickly just because the bone is so lovely. And if it was a knife I would carry, this would be in my collection if Justin was selling it. I mean, that's as simple as that. It would just be in my collection. It is stunning all around, beautifully cleaned wells. I mean, this is an older knife, 2011, so, you know, it's knocking on now for a pocket knife, but it's never been sharpened or used. This is still, and the reason I really know that, because this is the factory edge, and there's a bit of a burr up and down there every now, an intermittent burr. On the other side, it is nearly all burr. It's actually, I can feel it catching my finger, which is a bit typical for Case, but I don't understand when they're doing it, you know, a collector's club. And I mean, Case collectors are so pernickety about things. They'll not want to sharpen it because that'll devalue a knife because it's not the factory edge. But then you're sitting with a knife that every time you rub your finger, when I do this up the edge, it's the other side is actually catching on my finger. So it just amazes me. And that was back in 2011. So, I mean, really shame, because that's the only fault that I could really pick with that. There's really nothing else wrong with this knife. It's lovely. Now, here's the one thing about this that is stopping me buying off Justin, and it is the one thing. Look, I can sharpen. That wouldn't bother if it was going to be my knife. It would just be sharpened. Look at the gap here. Why isn't that filled up to there with blade? Why do they keep it so skinny? And a knife, the blade to handle ratio on this does not suit. This needs a fatter blade on it to make this knife, to me, This is like a blade off a normal Trapper. This is wider than a normal Trapper. It needs a thicker blade. But there's all that room there. Why have they not, taken it down to there? It would be perfect then. An absolutely stunning knife. But the bone is just gorgeous. Let's take it for what it is. And, if you're a Case collector, you'll obviously like this. It is a Trapper blade, I believe, just in the back pocket. And I would be interested, please let me know if you know anything about that. Because to me, this is just a single-bladed Trapper. It's got a slight little bump there. It's a Trapper handle and a blade that you would find in an ordinary size Trapper. But I think the one thing that spoils this is that it's on this knife, and this is just not... it's not thick enough to warrant this beautiful plate. I mean, this is just fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. The detail on the bone, everything about it, the hafting's lovely, and except for that thin blade is what puts me off it. Now, and it's by no means, I'm no reflecting Justin, he bought it and I think he feels sort of the same with it. That's where we both sort of have that opinion, but it is still a beautiful knife. You can't fault them. I mean, apart from that blade, but if you're a Case knife, or a case collector, maybe you're used to that style of blade in a big trapper, in a full-size trapper. Now, this is the Oregon Trapper from GEC. This was a pattern premiere in 2018. And this is just, it's my favourite big knife. Now, let me just show you the difference in size. There is a fair difference in size. There must be at least a quarter of an inch difference in size. But again, this is a big trapper pattern. It is gorgeous. This bone on it is absolutely frontier bone, they call it. But it's a mixture of sort of mocha creams, that darker. It's nearly like muddied waters. It's just beautiful. It's all over the place here at the front, which I love. And this is the Tittyute. This is the Tittyute pattern, which is the lesser of the two patterns that GEC have in their knives. You have Northwoods, above it. Is it Northwoods? Am I thinking Northwoods? Yeah, it is, I think. I keep getting it confused with the other one. Never mind, it's just Paddy's head. And this has a lovely blade. So it's quite plain compared to that beautiful swedge and that. Although it has a swedge that comes along here and then back down again. It's beautiful. This is a user. You can see I love this knife. I just love it. It is a big handful of knife. There you are. It's a 43 pattern made in 2018. Beautiful, big, flat grind on it. It is just, this is the perfect big knife for me. I get all my hand in here. Look, there's still a wee bit sticking out, but it's a fantastic lump of a knife. Really, really beautiful to do some work with. And I'm talking about the blade. Let me just show you the difference. Now, maybe it's a small difference to somebody, but for me, the aesthetics. Can you see the difference in this blade? Cutting edge, they're about the same. But look at the difference when you've got a full blade. That's what this knife needed, was a full blade to make it different. Because the difference in that, to me, this does not look knife heavy. Do you know what I mean? Or knife heavy, blade heavy, I should say. I mean, this looks right with this knife. This to me just looks skinny, as if somebody sharpened it up to there. But again, it really is just me, and everybody's tastes are different. But it's worth pointing out that I'm knocking this all over the place. I'm sorry, boys. But this here is just gorgeous. My biggest knife that I'll carry, slip joint wise. Listen to that crack. Beautifully down the centre, as was this. Beautifully down the centre. There's nothing I can fault with that. And the last of the three that I'm going to show you today is my Remington bullet knife. And this is in Cocobolo. Absolutely. Look at the fit and finish on that. This is from 1989. This is just beautifully done. The hafting on this is gorgeous. I think probably Camillus made them. If I'm wrong, please let me know. In 89, I think Camillus were making them for Remington. Listen to that. Isn't that beautiful? Again, you've got that. It's a slimmer blade than the GEC. But look at the difference in it to that. It still looks like a bigger knife, doesn't it? You see the way it's coming down here? And I think honestly, I think it really just needed a bigger blade. It needed a fuller base to it. That, if you can see the difference, that few millimeters makes a huge difference in a knife. And maybe, a full clip point or a drop point like this would have been a better blade choice than that long, slim, tapering down, to a Turkish clip. I'm running this knife down, and I really don't mean to run it down. It is beautiful. But for my eye, and you have to be honest, in your eye, that's what I like. But as a trapper, I'm not a lover of trappers. I think this is the only trapper I've got, other than a single blade trappers. Let me just show you what makes this knife beautiful for me. And we talk about a big blade making a knife look good. Look at that. Isn't that just... Now, this is the same size as that, and you'd swear you were looking at two different knives. Look at that spay blade. It's no thicker than the drop point, but when it's full all the way down, does that not make that knife look like a beast? And it is a beast. There's weight on it. It's not... It's never going to be a light carry. You would need to really put this belt sheath. Well, I would have to have it in a belt sheath. And it's something I'll maybe, I might even have a sheath that would do that actually. I'll hook that out for maybe the next time I bring it out. But you got the lovely bullet on it, the Coca Bolo. The fit and finish on this is excellent. Absolutely excellent. No fault. Camillus, if it was then, made a good knife. And there's the date, 1989, which was, again, the year of my sobriety. And it makes this knife ultra special. Ultra special. Now, this blade's nearly touching the side. In fact, I think it actually is just rubbing a bit. Let me just get that blade out to have a wee look. No, it's not, it's not rubbing. And I don't don't baby about, I just slap it down. But it's absolutely fine. The spy blade's much better. It's further away from the edge. But again, this is lovely. This is a real collector's piece for me, just for that date. Out of the three for use, this is the one. This will always be my biggest knife, I think, unless there's a case back pocket knife that has a proper thick clip point, or a drop point, or a spade, just single blade. I would probably buy that. But that bone, that olive bone, is just stunning. Absolutely stunning. It's like cornrows there. It's just beautiful. And I love the case shield. Everything about that is beautiful. I do like the Tribute shield as well, I have to say. And I suppose this is my bias, and we're all biased. I love GEC. I love this for the date on it. And it's so well made. It's a fantastic knife. This is really well made. But the GEC, there is something about, well, I know there's quite a lot of things about them. Their fit, finish. A knife would never come from, well, I've never had a knife from GEC with that sort of edge on it. And that's a no-no for me. And I would say when these come out, I would say they've been somewhere near the same price. Because that's not just your average case knife. That is a very special knife. Apart from that edge, which I think is diabolical to put a club knife out like that. That's not the way I would want to treat my club members. Now, maybe that's the only one. Maybe the rest are all perfect. But haven't had experience with case, the sharpening is never that good. And again, somebody said the other night, I never thought of it like that. Maybe they just don't worry. That case buyers are used to getting a knife like that, and they're quite happily sharpen themselves, which I would. I probably wouldn't moan about it so much if it was mine. I bought it and said, the edge is rubbish, I'll sharpen it myself. I'll show you when I do the review. That's probably what I would do. It's that unimportant to me. But if a GEC came like that, I'd be shocked. I'd be absolutely shocked. I haven't had anything near that. It was so rough. And this big boy, again, it's on its first edge of it. I've stropped it a couple of times. This one has had quite a few stroppings. Still really, really sharp. I haven't had to sharpen it. And I've used that cutting steaks. You can see the meat heat on the front of it. And I still haven't tried. A strop just brought it straight back, but that's the joy of 1095. Excuse me. This is just their stainless steel. And this, I believe, was 420HC. Could be wrong, but if I'm wrong, please let me know. So there you go. 3 big knives. These outer 2 are both the same size. And that question, please let me know. Is case back pocket just another name for a single-bladed trapper? Because going on these 2 being exactly the same size, this is a little bit smaller. This was a brand new pattern for GEC when it came out, 43 pattern. I think they've had other knives out since then in the 43 pattern. But I hope that interests you, because I just loved having all 3 of these together. And I hope Justin either grows to love this, or he finds somebody else that'll love it. I'm sure he will find somebody, because honestly, if you were just worried about the bone, worry no more, because this knife is stunning. Stunning. Do you know what it reminds me of? Do you ever get down and walk along the beach and you get the rocks and you get the dark green of the seaweed, and then it sort of bleeds off the end of the rock, the tentacles of the seaweed? That's what it looks like to me. It really is just such a beautiful way that sort of bled through. Love it. You old romantic, Paddy. I know. That's why the girls love me. Right, I'm away for a wee cup of tea. Take care, everybody. Thanks for listening to another Thursday 3 for Thursday, waffle. Take care. Bye-bye now. Bye. What's your favourite, by the way? If you heard this, what's your favourite out of the three?